Hello everyone, Tony from Locks Down Under here. How are you today? I just want to introduce Mia, the Masterkeying assistant. It is one of my latest creations. We'll do a bit of an overview here and I'll create a new key system. New system number is obviously whatever you're going to stamp on your keys. Client, address, etc. You know what goes in there. This is just going to be an inline 6-pin system. Don't need to change a whole lot over here, although we will give it some extra keys to create. And we'll change the chamber designation so we can actually create enough keys to play with. Keep hitting the refresh button until you get a GMK or a base bitting that you like. We'll run that, and instantly on the right hand side we've got all the keys in our key system. Now the keys in the key system are all considered as inactive until you actually give that key a description. Once it's got a description, you can hit save. It'll automatically move on to the next key. So now we're doing MKA. So let's call this building A master key. It's now moved on to the change keys underneath that MKA. So we can go building A unit 1. Moved on to A2. And it's automatically incremented the description for you. So we can fairly quickly and easily add 10 units. Let's go 10. Save and stop. So if we come back to our system, you can see the MKA now has a description, so it's active. The change keys 1 through to 10 all have descriptions, they're all active. To the right hand side in the description, there have been no keys cut yet, so Mia will keep track of how many keys are cut for you. From there, we can move on to door assignments. So if we create a door, building A, unit 1, we might call this door A1, door AU1. Choose some hardware for the door. There we go. So we've got a cylinder, a lock. If there's more than one cylinder, you can change the quantity. In the center here. Now this is where I said some keys are active and some are inactive. Only the active keys will show here. There's no point showing you 10,000 keys if most of them aren't being used at the moment. So we're doing unit 1. Tick the keys that are to work unit 1. Add the door. So the door is now added over on the right hand side. Up here, it's already gone to unit 2. So we can now create unit 2. Just change the keying, add door. Unit 3, add door. Unit 4. So it's reasonably quick and easy. Probably still room for improvement, but it's all adds fairly quickly. Now I'm thinking on door 10 we might make a mistake. We'll leave door 9 keyed in there as well, just because. Add door. Now let's create the building A entry door. And we'll call this door A1. do a entry one. There we go. We can tell it that this is a common area door, and we're going to auto assign all the keys under MKA. So now we can see all the keys have been ticked automatically for you. You don't have to go through and manually tick them all. Add that door. So we can now come over here, and as we select the different doors, the information on the left hand side will update. If you're working on a few doors or adding doors and you need to keep an eye on how they're keyed, you can open it up and it'll show you the keying. You can also select a door, and using the print button you can send it off to the printer with or without the the pin build-up, sorry. That way you can hand it on to the customer showing what keys operate each door, or you can print it out with the pin build-up and hand it on to the workshop to key up the locks. If we come over to pinning and analysis report, you can see that all these doors are secure. Even unit 10 is secure. Okay, and a little mistake didn't really show up. I was hoping it might have created some phantoms. Let's just go back to door 10. I don't know whether this will create any phantoms or not, but let's throw in a couple of other random keys and see if it does. There we go. So now it's telling us that there is an issue with this door. It's also telling us the front door is so heavily pinned that we just need to be aware and to be careful. So if we open this first door, it's telling us that the keys we selected are working, and that's fine because we told it to, so it considers them as okay. But in pinning it to that, these keys will work and shouldn't. They're not in the pin build-up yet, they'll physically work. Or down the bottom it will give you a list of the keys and then what doors they work or shouldn't work but are working. We'll quickly fix that back up. Okay, all those doors are now secure. It's just giving us a overpinning warning on that door. Because if we have a look at the pin build-up for that door, it doesn't like filling a chamber chock-a-block full of 2s. It's unavoidable in a lot of circumstances, and it's just giving you a little heads up. From there we can come over to key orders, where we can select a key, order 2 keys, give it a description as to why you cut these keys, throw in an invoice number or who ordered the keys, add it to your order, and continue adding as many keys as you like. Add to order. You can then print the order, so you can print it with or without the bitting. You might want to get customers' approval. You can commit the order without even printing it. This is what I'll do for now. Of course, you can just clear the order and start all over again. So now you can see there are no orders pending. We can go into order history, and there are the keys that we've ordered. If we jump from there right back to the system front end again, you can see now off to the right, GMK 2 cut, MKA 6 cut. So you can see what's cut. In a typical fashion, let's say the customer comes along and says, no, I want to have all these units that are on floor 1, I want a master key for them. Alright, what we can do is just examine the bitting a little bit with your eye. We can see that in this chamber here, they all contain a 1 cut, and then it changes to 3. So let's go submaster key A1 for floor 1, perhaps. So under the MKA, we're going to see if we can create a key. What it will do is it'll only allow us to change certain columns. So we can change that column there to a 2, and we can change that column there to a 1. Alright, the rest we'll leave as is. Generate. Yes. Now if you're a locksmith, you'll understand exactly what I'm doing here. If you're not, you'll have to figure it out, but it won't take you too long. So you can now see we have that submaster key A1, and it will be above all those doors, right down to key 15, because it had the number 1 card in that 4th chamber. It will not work anything below that. That's why they're indented. So all that key will now be a submaster key. These keys are outside of that submaster. And you can create more submasters, and you can create submasters within submasters. It's not hard to do. That about wraps up a very quick overview of creating a key system in there. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll chat again soon.